Hi, I'm Mark Hanna. I'm a spokesman for the Insurance Council of Texas. We're a state insurance trade organization representing 400 companies that sell auto and homeowners insurance in the state of Texas. With me is Cliff Barros. He is a spokesman for the Insurance Institute for Business and Home Safety. It's located in South Carolina. And I'm going to let Cliff explain a little bit more about his organization in just a moment. But for right now, I'm going to talk about all of the flooding that's been taking place in the Rio Grande Valley. You've had a severe flood back in June of this year. You had another severe flood back in June of 2018. You're experiencing 12 to 15 inches of rainfall, and you saw some areas 5 feet deep in floodwaters. From an insurance perspective, what we recommend is that every homeowner in this area consider flood insurance policy. It's coverage that's provided by the National Flood Insurance Program. It is a federal product, but it can be purchased through any insurance agent that sells auto or homeowners insurance in this area. It's not that expensive. For a maximum flood insurance policy, we're looking at under $500 for 12 months. And that can protect a $250,000 home with $100,000 of personal property inside. So it's a free phone call to an agent. Just check to see, hey, I'd like to look into flood insurance. My home is flooded before, or it's come very close to flooding. And I just want to check to see if I can purchase the coverage, what all is involved. But the most important thing I can pass along to you is that if you purchase it, it's going to take 30 days to take effect. So you can't see a storm coming and going, hey, I'm just going to go buy windstorm insurance, or I'm just going to go buy flood insurance and get ready for that storm that we see on the horizon. Flood insurance takes 30 days to take effect. I'm going to throw it to Cliff. He's going to talk about roofs. They do 80% of all of the damage from any thunderstorm comes in the form of damage to roofs. And his organization has taken a very close look of how to build a stronger roof, particularly in the Texas coastal area. Cliff?
That's it. So like I said earlier, I'm with the Institute of Business and Home Safety, and we're like the crash test dummies, but for houses. So we build a house, we put it in a test lab, and then we subject it to wind, rain, hail, all kinds of things. And when you get those 12 inches of rain like you've had here on the Texas coast, like you said, cause these storms, you're going to get a lot of water that's coming into your house. And so when we looked at what's causing that, where is this water going in, how's it getting in there, we figured out there's 3 things that you need to do to protect your home when you're re-roofing a house. We want to lock down those edges of the house. There's a drip edge. It's a piece of metal that goes around the outside of the house. And that is going to stop any kind of wind from getting up under that first shingle. And that's the important thing, because your shingles are overlapped. So if you lose that first one, it's going to pop the next one above, and the next one above, and the next one above, and you get a lot more damage than you would if you can just lock that down. So we're going to lock those edges. We're going to use stronger nails and a little more nails than we normally would. We use a ring shank nail. That's going to help keep, if the wind does get up underneath the wood that holds your roof down, that's going to stop that from lifting up as easily. And then the third and most important thing when we're talking about rain is we're going to seal the roof deck. And so what that means is you got plywood down under all of the shingles, and that plywood has a gap in between each piece of plywood. That gap is important. It has to be there. Not that your roofer did anything wrong. There's that gap because when the wood expands and contracts with the temperatures, it'll buckle if it doesn't have it. So we do have that gap, but we've got to stop the water from getting into it. And so we can put this tape that's designed for that. It's about 4-inch tape. It costs around $300 to do that for a 2,000 square foot house. And you just lay that tape on and then put your felt and then put your shingles on top of that. Or you can use what's called ice and water shield. That's actually a fairly common technique here in Texas. And that just sticks across the whole thing instead of felt. So it covers your whole roof instead of felt. And that's, again, just a few $100 extra when you're re-roofing. And that way, when your shingles come off, you're going to have still going to have some protection stopping the water from getting into the roof.
The IBHS has taken a look at the Texas coast, and your homes are the most expensive thing that you have. And it's the roof that's really important. And we've seen older homes just not be able to withstand the wind, but we've seen newer homes that are built stronger to the building code, that are tied down to the foundation, and they put just a little bit more money in it, and they're withstanding hurricane force winds. So for more information, you can go to the IBH website at ibhs.org. And if you want to see some of the videos that have been put together, you can Google IBHS videos.
And it's great. There's some, you got some videos of 2 houses side by side, one built with the fortified, which is what we consider the national standard for building, and one built to fairly modern code, but just code, and it blows away completely. The other house stands, so it's pretty cool.
Back to flooding, you can go to the National Flood Insurance Program, which is under FEMA, learn more about flood insurance, or you can go to our website at insurancecouncil.org.